So what do you reckon we do first, Shed Corgi? We're going to do the exhaust, the engine mount, or the rear end? Well, I don't have an axle for the rear end, so we can't really start that. We do have an exhaust. It's a stock exhaust for one of these motors, but doesn't quite fit. So I'm going to use this long piece with that first bend, and that's going to come along the side of the chassis. I'm going to use this first bend, about 80 degrees of it, to come out the header, out of the head and point in the right direction. And I'm going to use these last two bends to bring it out the side and point in the right direction to hook into the main end pipe. So after it gets up the side, we've got a little cannon muffler for it. After we've done the exhaust, we're going to finish off this engine mount by actually making some bolt-in plates for it, so that that bolts to the chassis, so we can take that out, take the engine out, instead of having to pull the floor pan off to get the engine out. So that way the floor pan will be riveted in fairly securely, and this can just bolt out the top. Alright, so we'll get this exhaust made. I might bolt it all together and bolt the carby on it and see what it sounds like. Should be fun. I've successfully cut up an exhaust into lots of little pieces. Now let's see if we can put them all back together again. That fits, but only just. It's touching on the chassis, so what we want to do is shorten this piece. So I can take this top section off, push that top section down. It can come down quite a distance, which will then bring that bottom curve up higher, which is what we need. It's got a really horrible weld in the top here anyway, so I would have been grinding that back out anyway just for exhaust flow. I guess that's the first step. Alright, that's given us the clearance we require. The exhaust is finished. It's not pretty. If I wanted a pretty one, I would have gone and found some stainless elbows the right size, but I couldn't. So we're just going to stick with this. I thought about putting the little heat shield on there just cause, but I haven't yet. I haven't got any of the front suspension or steering parts yet. I haven't got the rear axle yet. So the only other jobs I can do at the moment is finish off the engine cradle, because that's going to be removable. Next, I'm going to do the shifter. Now this is the shifter that came with the motor. Now, it's not really going to work. So what I'm planning on doing, chopping off the main bracket, just using the piece that fits on the shaft, and then some of these little rose joints. I've got two different sizes, male and female, so there'll be a new plate welded onto the end of this. One of those will be on there. Then there'll be a rod comes all the way back to here with another rose joint, and then that'll come up for the shifter. I've run out of argon, so I can't really do any more stainless welding, so I guess the shifter's going to have to wait for now. Engine mounts are next. What I'm planning is, I've got some bits of angle. I'll shorten that up. There'll be some holes in underneath with a couple of nuts welded to the chassis, so that can drop down, sit on top, and then bolt in underneath. And that should make it fairly secure. engine mounts all done. Before I dismantle this, take the engine out to finally weld it all, I think we should fire it up and see what this exhaust sounds like. So, and then a battery, carbies, balloon. Got enough things connected. Got the wiring loom attached. I'll put a little bit of petrol in the carby. Yep, so it works. Pull it apart again. Now we're down to a bare chassis again. I'm going to weld everything out. I'm going to leave it stuck to the table for now, because that will be helpful when I'm setting up the front suspension. But apart from that, I'll start burning some wire. That is welded out as far as I can at the moment. I'm not going to take it off the table until I've done the front suspension. Now, I've got the hubs. I don't have the shockers or the wheels. Now, I need the wheels and tyres before I can actually work out the geometry for the suspension. I also don't have my rear axle, so it'll be interesting to see what I can make a video for next week. So anyway, that's it for this week. Shed Corgi's been and gone. But as always, customise everything.